I've got this budget. How can I best spend this to improve the most? And my view was, I want to get faster at racing at that period of time. How can I best spend that money?
We've got to go back to the individual and their intent. Yeah. What are you going to race for? I'm going to enjoy myself on a race weekend. I don't want to come last, but I don't really mind where I come. I've just wanted to race. I'm 50 years old, and I've just wanted to race all my life. And then you think, okay, well, the other side of that is, right, I've now been doing the season and I've really got a bug and I really do want to win. So people evolve. Yeah. And you have to take people with you, or they take us with them. And perhaps buy a car for 15k and get some more local man who's a competent mechanic to look after it, and I can change the pads and do the tyre pressures. You could probably have quite a cost-effective season if you've got some basic mechanical skills and you're up for it. Yeah. That's one way of looking at what we're going to get into. The other way of looking at it is that somebody comes through the door and they actually want to win and they want to prepare to win. So let's take a big sort of bandwidth and discuss that. What I believe, irrespective of your starting point and where you want to get to, you need track knowledge. So what I'm often advising people to do, that they come through the door and are keen to spend money and go racing, what experience have you got? Have you been on track? I've done 1 or 2 track days, that's it. And I always suggest people should budget for a season of track days before they go racing.
Nice, yeah.
So do a season of track days. Let's go to Snetterton and let's go to Donington, where you've got some runoff. So what we do is we evolve people into the more complex circuits. And I always say risk increasing factors. Start off, just get used to the car, understand yourself, whether that's with me or a team or on your own. Start building some pace, understand how to negotiate a track, understand the flags, understand a bit of track etiquette, how to let people go and when to let them go. Because it's the same in the race, because you've still got to defend and attack. Get used to having cars in your mirrors. What people often forget, or perhaps just don't realise, is when you race, if it's busy, I would suggest in a C1 race, I bet you're spending 50% of the first 3 laps on your mirrors.
Yeah.
Not looking forward. And that takes a skill. So just being on a track day, 3 or 4 track days, what's in my mirrors? How do I negotiate those mirrors? When do I look? How do I check? That's a great entry into just understanding track etiquette and feeling comfortable with the process. Then move on to the more complex circuits so that you're starting to understand how to drive quickly within a confine, because that can be very uncomfortable for people. Yeah. So now we've started to put a plan in place. We're starting to build track knowledge and giving people an opportunity to experience that and understand their skills. Now, the next step would be, do I need instruction? Have I got a competent skill set? I'm going to say it, aren't I? Because it's my job. It's what I do for a living and it's my business. But hand on heart, I'm not trying to sell here. You can accelerate your learning and your track knowledge so quickly. Spend 2 or 3 days with a good instructor, or even a day. You're starting to, shall we say, take advantage of their skill set, their knowledge, and you can start implementing that knowledge into your skill set. And I'm also very conscious that you don't really want to start driving on track with lots of, perhaps, let's not call them errors, perhaps not optimized techniques, because when you do eventually decide you need some instruction, you've got to undo all that. Yeah. And then you've got to start again from base camp 1, which is a bit more of a complex learning curve, because you've got to overwrite your neurological pathways again. So just getting into the right groove in your early days, I think that a day with an instructor, just so that you're understanding where to brake, where to look, trail braking, acceleration points, braking techniques, that can really help you. So we're starting to build knowledge without having spent any real money yet. So your first season of racing, if you've not done all this, I always say it's quite often just a mental overload. Yeah. It's an emotional overload, because you're trying to do everything on the move at speed, and sometimes it's just not a good experience from what people tell me. I've got my team around me. I know they can support me. I've got the sign-off from my family, be that your partner, your children. Yeah, Dad's going racing at the weekend. We're not coming this weekend. That's fine, because Dad's going to Knock Hill, and we can't all be there. These are the things that cause complications, don't they, when you race? Because you want your family involved. Then you've got the geographical areas that we've spoken about. Then you've got your own personal development, that skill set that you need. I think, as I say, it varies, but there is a path in.